Good morning, LA. It's breakfast time. This week on Breakfast Time, we're going to Studio City's own Belgium Waffle House. Let's go get some breakfast. And I'm back from Belgium Waffle House, and I have in front of me their egg and bacon breakfast sandwich. This is one heck of a breakfast sandwich. This has pretty much every flavor that we have talked about on this channel through the last 8 episodes. It has a breakfast dessert as the bun in terms of a waffle, and then it also has eggs, bacon, like the name would suggest, but it goes the next step. Instead of using cheese as sort of a emulsifier and as a creamy texture to go to hold the whole thing together, they put baby greens and tomatoes on here, and then they use a balsamic vinaigrette, a mustard, and mayonnaise. So you have all 3 of those sauces coming together in this one sandwich. Now, if you've been with the channel for the long haul, you'll remember that one of my favorite breakfast sandwiches I've ever had, I compared it to the Holy Grail Bodega breakfast sandwich from New York, had mayonnaise on it, and it absolutely blew my mind. And so I'm really excited to try this one with all of those extra sauces and see if that added complexity really does something. It is time for the first bite. Grab the sandwich here, take out the toothpick, and here we go. Wow, first bite really exceeded expectations. I said that it had every single flavor that we've tried on this channel, put into it, and it did not disappoint. We got, that first bite really was great, and you did get all of those flavors all coming together, and they really work in a symphony, really. This is definitely the most complex thing that we've had on the channel, because it's just doing so much and it's going to bring you in so many different directions. You get some sweetness from the waffle, you get a little bit of bite from the mustard, then you get that balsamic vinaigrette that comes in. The mayonnaise gives it a nice creamy texture to all those sauces. They all kind of mix together and become this beautiful creamy spread. Then as you continue to bite through it, you get those fresh vegetables, which are full of moisture and really keep the sandwich. Because any sort of breakfast dessert can get a little dry if it's not really well handled. But with those fresh veggies and that sauce is absolutely not going to happen. You keep going, you get that bacon, get that fat, absolutely perfect bacon, and then you get the nice fluffy soft egg, and then you do the sauce again on the backside. That is what an experience. It's truly a ride. So yeah, in terms of taste, really good. The other thing that really stands out is how well this waffle works as sort of the bread of this sandwich. I've had I've had quite a few, a number of sandwiches that use a waffle as the bread. And usually it's those big chunky waffles, the kind of waffles that you want when you order waffles. The kind of waffles you might make at home in a home waffle maker. But this is not like those. It's nice and thin. It's not overly sweet, but it's definitely got a sweetness to it. I'm sure that you could put maple syrup on this and it would be great, but I don't need it, right? I definitely don't need it. And it really holds together well. I think that most people, when they think of like a breakfast dessert, so like a pancake or a waffle being used as like the bun or the bread on a sandwich, they might think of the McGriddle from McDonald's, which has the maple syrup infused in it. Well, I've eaten a lot of McGriddles. It's my favorite breakfast sandwich from McDonald's, but we'll get to that in another episode. This is like so much better than that. and that McGriddle pancake thing, it doesn't hold together the way this waffle does. I mean, this waffle is really, really like sturdy. It does actually feel like bread but tastes like a waffle. So it's just A+ all around in terms of the construction, in terms of that waffle. And you know, coming from a place called the Belgium Waffle House, you would definitely expect the waffle to be kind of the best part, or at least one of the best parts of the sandwich, and it absolutely is. This sandwich would not be the same if it was on an English muffin or bread, you know, some sort of bread. So high marks for that. And then finally, I just think we should talk about the sauce that the mayonnaise and the mustard and the balsamic vinaigrette kind of make. I mentioned it when I was talking about how it tastes, but I really cannot stress how difficult that balance really is, because if it had too much mustard, then it would be too spicy and it would start to feel like you're eating some sort of weird combination of lunch and breakfast. And then if it had no mustard, it wouldn't have any spice. And when I say spice, I don't mean like hot spice, like jalapeno spice. You know, I'm thinking more like paprika, these sort of herbal spices that you would, I'm probably using the wrong word and I apologize, but those sort of spices that you would add to, a more savory dish to give it some more flavor. And that's what the mustard is bringing to this. It's not hot at all. I mean, it has absolutely zero hotness, but it's bringing a spice to it, and it's just in the background. It's just like as you bite into it, like, oh yeah, there's some mustard there, but it's not like overwhelming. And then the mayonnaise is giving it that nice base. Mythical Chef Josh over at the Mythical Kitchen channel, which is one of my absolute favorite channels. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. If you're interested in learning how to cook, they will teach you how to cook, and they'll teach you how to cook weird stuff and basics. So totally off topic, but he likes to say that pretty much every great sauce is just some sort of fancy mayonnaise, and that's pretty much what this is, because the mayonnaise is absolutely the base layer, but because they put the greens and the tomato on top, which I'll talk about in just a second, that becomes like a salad. So having a balsamic vinaigrette basically works with that salad. This is gonna sound bad, but it's actually working in this context. It tastes like a salad on top of a breakfast sandwich without being a salad on top of a breakfast sandwich. And that's what contributes really to it feeling like a full meal in one bite. This genuinely feels like, okay, I'm getting every single type of food group that I possibly could ask for here. I'm getting fats, I'm getting veggies, I'm getting carbs, I'm getting protein. I mean, like, I know we don't use the food pyramid anymore, but I'm old apparently, and I learned the food pyramid, and this hits like every category except for like the very tippy top. So, and actually, it does kind of hit the top because there's a sweetness, there's a sugary sweetness in the waffle. So it basically hits the entire pyramid in one bite. So it's really, it's just a really special thing in that context. So let's move on. One more thing to talk about, final thing, and then we'll get into the ratings. Let's talk about putting greens and tomatoes on a breakfast sandwich. Some people are going to be in the comments, and I want to have the conversation. Some people have already commented. Why would anybody want vegetables? Why would anybody want greens or tomato on their breakfast sandwich? And I get that, because Most of the time I don't. That's why, for the first 6 episodes of this show, we had something called Beautiful Simplicity, which was replaced by the X Factor. This is not beautifully simple. It has a lot of stuff going on here. But I actually think that if it's done like this, where it's in moderation, it can absolutely work. Some restaurants, especially here in Los Angeles, will just pile on the greens, and they go way overboard, and it just starts to feel like you have an entire side salad that's just dumped on top of your food. That's not what this is. This is very, very limited use of the veggies. This is not like I'm pretty sure this is not a full serving of vegetables. This doesn't make it like a healthy option by any stretch of the imagination. But when it's done in moderation, it really, really works. So let's just jump into these ratings right now. Taste, a lot of people would say is the most important thing. I think that's probably true. This is a 9.5. I would love it if it had a little bit, like the bacon is good, but it is not special. It's not, oh my God, this bacon is so amazing. It's just sort of there. I wish that bacon was a little bit crispier. I wish it had a little bit more flavor. It's the only thing I would even, I'm coming up with things to complain about. It's really good bacon. It's just not like, whoa, blow my mind bacon, which we have had on this channel. 9.5, absolutely wonderful flavor. In terms of distribution of ingredients, I can't say anything bad about this. This is a 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 across the board. Every single bite, you get the sauce, you get the veggies, you get the bacon, you get the eggs, you get waffle, you get everything in every single bite. It's absolutely perfect. 10. X Factor, this one, I'm gonna go high on this. I'm gonna go to a 9 for the X Factor. Because of the combination of sauces coming together and really kind of elevating the complexity of this sandwich beyond something that is just a waffle with some bacon, egg, and cheese in the middle. This is something that has a lot of care put into it. Someone really tested out these flavors, because I don't care who you are not coming up with balsamic vinegar or balsamic vinaigrette and mustard and mayonnaise on the first go around. There's definitely been some work put into this, and some combination of things happened in order to create this. So the X Factor, it's a 9. Finally, we get to value. Now, value is the hardest one for me here, because this sandwich by itself, it doesn't come with any sides, doesn't come with anything but the sandwich, is $13. It's $12.95, but it's $13. And that does feel high for a breakfast sandwich. However, after everything I've said, I think you know that I like this. And I think the thing that really allows me to say that the value for this is an 8.5 is that every bite feels like a meal. I can't even imagine how expensive it is to run a restaurant, and so $13 is probably pretty cheap. It's probably the lowest they could go, but I wish they could go lower. I wish that it could be a $10 sandwich or an $11 sandwich, which I know is only a couple of bucks, but when you extrapolate that over 2 people getting breakfast and getting coffee, I don't have a coffee, I don't have an orange juice, I don't have anything else. It's just the sandwich, and if 2 people got it, it would be like $30 with tax, and if you go to the restaurant, tip as well. So you're talking about over $30 for 2 people with just getting breakfast sandwiches and nothing else. I wish it was a little bit cheaper, but you do get so much that I can't really make an argument that it needs to be cheaper. So with that being said, I'm gonna go with an 8.5. I think that's really, really, really solid. Really, really good value. I really cannot recommend this enough. This is super, super solid breakfast sandwich across the board. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Breakfast Time. It really means a ton to me. The love and support you guys have been giving me is off the charts. I cannot thank you guys enough. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I want to make sure that you are getting all of your breakfast themed content directly into your feed. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and if you know of a place in the greater LA area that serves amazing breakfast, leave it down in the comments. You saw last week, I went to Home State directly off of a suggestion from a fan of this show. So I am absolutely listening, and I am going to places when they are suggested to me. So make sure you leave a comment down below. Tell me if you think I'm crazy, if this thing sounds disgusting, or you think it's too expensive. Make sure you leave that down below as well. You know, I want to have a conversation with you guys and see what you're thinking. So thanks again for watching. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, breakfasttime_LA. And that's it for this week. I'll see you next week on Breakfast Time.